Okay, we had buffer issues with our original uh, VI using DAC assistance. So one of the first things we had to do to fix that issue was to create our own DAC assistant. And the way we did that was we set up a DAC create channel AI voltage basic where we set the maximum and minimum voltage. The minimum voltage being -2, the maximum voltage being +2. We set the input as an audio input, and we're taking the left channel only because we're running a mono setup. From there, we set a sample clock. The sample clock we set to continuous samples, and all of that gets put into a DAC start task. From the DAC start task, if it's working correctly, which it was at the time, it goes into a DAC read. This DAC read puts the signal and all of the information into a 1D waveform, depending on the channels, the number of channels and the number of samples. From there, it goes into some kind of element. I'm not quite sure of the name. I can't remember right now. But that all passes through and gets into
A release queue.
a release queue. That's right, release queue. So basically, the signal starts here. This is our input information.
That would be the input DAC assistant.
Right, this is the input DAC assistant. It includes the sample clock, and this is pretty much the information getting put into a form that the rest of the program can read it. Okay? So from there, let me scroll over on this. Just give me 1 second. Alright, so our signal in comes down and goes into a DQ element. So this is taking the Q information and passing it over to a get Q status. From that point, we go into the numbers where we divide it from we convert it from a dynamic data to and it passes to a get waveform point.